welcome back to the channel. It's Wendy, and as you can see I've been very bad and bought some more books that I wasn't going to buy this month again. Well, yeah, what can you do? There's books, I like them, I bought them. So I wasn't going to buy anything from Amazon Japan because, well, it was going to be good. But then this popped up, and you might be aware that I do already have Domin's Fairy Tales book. I have the Korean version, but obviously this is the Japanese version, and my Korean version I was too scared to colour in it because it's beautiful and it's hard to get and blah blah. So this popping up was an excuse for this pile of stuff on my desk. Sorry, not sorry. Because this was there, so well, it wasn't worth ordering one book from all the way from Japan. You may as well order a few, mightn't you, if you're paying for the postage anyway. So that was that. This was my pile of I'm being vaguely good from Amazon UK, but because I ordered this, it kind of wasn't. So this is where I am. This is where I am. I don't need any more books, but here I am with more books. So sorry, I know I've got more books than any one person needs in their entire life, but I love them. So there you go. So I'm going to go through them. Hopefully I'm not going to waffle on too much, though, as you know, I do like to have a waffle. I did think it was quite interesting to see the differences when this one arrived. Obviously I have the Korean version, and as you can see, they are not the same size, surprisingly. Kind of hadn't even occurred to me that they would come different. But yeah, the Japanese version that's available at the moment is slightly different size. It's a little bit smaller. The Korean version is a funny size anyway. Just trying to think of a book that I've got that you could compare it to to kind of give you a bit of perspective. So if you think about Colouring Heaven, it's a little bit smaller than a Colouring Heaven. I'll line them up properly. That's the kind of size of it. Sorry, I know we've got a bit of sun today, but I thought a bit of sunshine's nicer than dull Manchester, so I'll live with a little bit of sun. But yeah, it's a little bit smaller than the Colouring Heaven. So this one, the new one, is obviously smaller again, and it's not the only difference between them when I've started to open them up. So my Korean one has this kind of, it's almost like a grey paper cover. This one doesn't have this. This one is literally just a cover. The Japanese one has a proper fold out cover that goes on it. If I'm really honest, I don't think this feels quite as nice quality as my Korean one does. It's still beautiful. The print on it is lovely, but yeah, this is a lot thicker. The paper in it for the kind of pointless starting page, again, just feels quality. Whereas this is not cheap. It's still quite good paper, but it's not done just quite as nicely. So it's just slightly different. And as you can see, the book isn't quite the same. So my title page has this slide in it. This one has a completely different one in. My Korean one has Korean and English, so one side's Korean, one side's English, but the Japanese one is just purely Japanese, fairly obviously, I suppose, really. But apart from that, once you get a bit further in, it's a bit difficult to fit them both on the page. There's not a huge amount of difference. If anything, I think when I was looking at it, I think the Japanese print is a little bit brighter in colour. I think, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, not brilliantly really. They look pretty much the same on the camera, don't they? But these are a little bit more dull, a bit more muted in the Korean version, whereas the colours feel a little bit brighter in the Japanese version. But I think that's quite a good thing, really. You want a good print of it. And then, like you say, I've got a second kind of intro page that this one doesn't seem to have. And then it goes into the, that's it there, isn't it? So this has an extra page in a slightly different order. But yeah, there's a few different similarities, I suppose, is what I'm beating around the bush to say. Sorry, I can't hold that one and turn this page because it's money. But when it gets to the important bit, the actual plates, I can't see a massive amount of difference in these in terms of what they are. Again, like I say, I think the print is still a little bit more vivid on the Japan version, but the actual bit that you're working on looks very, very similar. I'd say this is more of a creamy paper slightly. This is a bit whiter on the Korean version, but the images are pretty much the same. I don't think there's a huge amount of difference in them. Maybe a slightly duller print in the black and white version, but yeah, apart from that, I think it's a great little buy. So if you don't have this original one, which I know a lot of people don't because it just got to silly prices, I think this is a lovely version to have. Available now on Amazon Japan. I get nothing. Don't know why I'm advertising it, but that's where I got it from. And yeah, I think it's a lovely little book. And in some respects, it feels a little bit more easier to have a go at because it's slightly smaller print. Doesn't feel quite as much work in it. So yeah, I've got no excuse now for having a go at one of these. I still can't decide which one to work in though now. That's my problem. Do I keep this one? Do I work in this one? I don't know. I still don't know. I just keep looking at them both. Such an idiot sometimes. Then Yuri Mouse. I'm sure you've seen him before. I'm not going to dwell on him because he's very popular, isn't he? Lots of people have shown him. Like I say, I've got a few books from Japan that I've been holding out on. Quite a few people have tempted me. Pretty Pages, and from Pretty Pages 71 has very much tempted me with this book. But it is a beautiful book. I know she's been doing quite a few of the pages. I think she's done the kind of intro where you're colouring what clothes all the little characters have. But again, this is nice paper. It's quite smooth paper. But they're cute little characters, and I really, anything kind of woodland, I'm in. I'm sold, and it's really cute. Yeah, I think she's been doing these ones when I was watching a couple of her videos. But I quite like these little houses inside the houses and things like that. So yes, like I say, I'm not going to dwell. Yuri House, lovely little house. Then this one popped up for me. I might have to close my blinds while it's not brilliant. Oh, although now you're tilting a bit. Sorry. I got this one. So Love Fantasy colouring book. No idea who it's by because it's all in Japanese. No idea what that is. Hopefully it's not my personal details. But yeah, this is another one that I thought, it looks like it's all little animals. So I quite fancy having a go. See what that one's like as well, as I like to say, because I've seen the Dommings book. I have to have it. Well, it's not worth just putting one book in your cart. May as well get a few. So as you can see, there are quite a few coloured pages before you get to the main bit. Well, as you can see, there's quite a few. So there's not a huge amount of colouring to do, and I think it's all one-sided. Quite good quality paper, and this does feel like it probably would take some watercolour. It has that slight, it feels like there's a bit of resistance there, and it's quite smooth, so I suspect you could get away with watercolour on this. So you've got obviously zoo animals, you've got cat and dog. I'll whiz through them quickly. But yeah, there's some really cute little pages in here that didn't feel too difficult. I'm going to flip from the back because it's quicker and easier to do. You've got little cards at the back, like you quite often do in a lot of the Japanese books. But yeah, Chipmunk was cute. I quite like this as well. I'm a sucker for anything circus or fairground. I really quite like the style of those. That would probably be my first page in this book, even though it's ridiculous. I'd like to see that in real life. But yeah, quite like this one as well. The hedgehogs, cute hedgehogs in a cactus. Don't think hedgehogs live where the cactuses grow, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure there's someone that can correct me, but certainly the ones in my garden don't have a cactus to live in because it's freezing most of the time. Yeah, but this is just a really little cute book, a little bit different. I have no idea who it's by, sorry. I like your drawings, whoever you are. Love Fantasy. Quite a cute little book. Again, from Amazon Japan. Then I thought in my mix of fairground carousels, love a carousel. My favourite thing is an old-fashioned carousel. I think they're lovely. I'm going to flip this one. This one is really thin. It was quite cheap. I think it was 500 yen. I have no idea what that is in UK or dollar, sorry. But yeah, I just thought this looks like a little bit different, and it's got a carousel on it, so I'm gonna try it. it's quite mixed, and you kind of seem to get like a main feature and then quite a lot of pattern background. Look at him. But there are some quite cute little characters in here, so some of the fiddly backgrounds, like this one, may not get done. Oh, this is a million leaves again. No. But some pages in here I do like, others not so much. But if you like patterns, these are great. But I'm thinking I'll just kind of distress ink or something all of this and just kind of concentrate on the carousel in the middle. But this was really cheap, this little book, so I don't feel too bad about just doing the bits I like out of it. Paper's okay, it's a bit on the cheap side because it's a little cheap book, but even this has a little jacket on it though. Feels like an expense too far, and quite a glossy cover, as you can see. Then more traditional ones. So I have one of these Tracing Round the World books that I got second hand, and I quite like the idea of, obviously you don't have to spend your time trying to conceal the lines, because as you can hopefully just about see from this has this really light print. This is the Festivals book, and there's a few pages that I keep seeing in this from various different people that I really fancied having a go at. So again, I'm only going to do a very, very quick flick to give you a brief idea. I don't know how well my camera, or it will if I slow down, you might get a glimpse of what it actually looks like. But because it's festivals and obviously it's a bit of a celebration, is it going to focus? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I thought this would be quite interesting, and obviously because the line work is so soft in it, it just gives you a bit more flexibility for, I'm going to flip a few pages then, we're not going through the entire book, but yeah, there was a few pages in here that I really quite liked when I'd seen other people working in it, and I quite liked the idea of having some with this lighter print in it as well. So usual typical eerie, and as you can see there's quite a few examples in this one. I think you've got these little tester pages in these tracing books as well, I think, just to give you an idea of how you might work with them, and I'm thinking I might actually have a go on those, see what materials I prefer with it. But yeah, that's Erie's Tracing Around the World Festival book. And then to go with that one, because obviously everybody on this planet seems like they've got it, the new Erie Fairy Tales one. Again, I'm only going to very quickly flick through this one because everybody on YouTube has already showed it, haven't they? I don't think you need me to flip it because loads have, but I've got that one as well that I'm quite looking forward to working in. And then two more from Amazon Japan. No clue what this is called, but it had cute things on the cover, so here I am, having bought it. This one's a bit of a mix really. You've got these kind of patterny pages, but then you've got, look at that cute dog. Then you've got more serious pages, and oh, carousel, yes, having a go at it. Oh, it's upside down, that horse in the snow globe. Never noticed that before. But yeah, I quite like some of the images in here, and it's a bit of a mix, bit more unusual selection of things that maybe can be a bit more artistic and go in a different way with. But yeah, some quite nice pages. I really like this. So you've got the little plants that are all sitting in the water. Are they hyacinths? I kept looking at this and thinking I should know what they're called. I think it's a hyacinth, isn't it? But you've got the bunny doing the impression. I don't think it's going to make the bunny grow any quicker by sticking his leg in. But there you go. But yeah, another really cute, this page is not getting done, even though it's got this cute flying, are they flying squirrels? I don't know what they are. They're cute, but no to those leaves. But there's lots of pages in here I think are really lovely, and I like doing flowers as well, so, and there's lots of that in here as well, so loads of creatures that I don't know the name of in this book that are clearly from Asia somewhere that I should know. Oh, cute doggy with a tea set. So yeah, I might have a bit of a learning curve with some of these creatures. French bulldogs. Are they French bulldogs on a washing line? I see. Oh, very nice. But yeah, there were some lovely pages in here, hence why I've been tempted by it. So yeah, a book I can't tell you the name. Something book, I don't know. Cosmic Mook. Couldn't say that then. It looks like it's from fuya.net if you want to look it up. Don't know, but it was on Amazon Japan, and I think once you start getting into the adult colouring sections, isn't it, it was just one that suggested to me, that popped up. And although it seemed ridiculous, I got this British scenery book from Japan. Can't understand a word of it, but I just thought actually it's quite nice. I quite like the pages in Rita Berman that had the British pages in. It's quite actually nice to colour something that feels a bit familiar to you, isn't it? So I quite like the idea of some of the images in here. So it kind of goes in different places in the UK. So I think the back here is Scotland, and the Lake District that side. Oh, everything's coming apart. So I think that was, I think it's Scotland and the Hebrides and all of those kind of places at the back. Ooh, this is getting on my nerves. What's happening? That's it. So lots of places, Edinburgh Castle and places like that. Then it goes into kind of more traditional Britishy countryside places that could be anywhere in the UK, to be honest. And then it goes back more to London and Harrods and Palace of Westminster and maps and things like that. So I quite liked, and again you've got some nice examples of what you could do with it at the front. So although I can't read any of it, not that it really matters, I quite fancied this one that's got places within UK, even though I had to buy it from Japan. And that was pretty much all my stuff from Amazon Japan. And then that leaves me with a pile from Amazon UK. I know, I'm naughty, I know. So I was buying these few. Let me have a look. These were the few I was going to buy this month. So how many was there? 5. And at the beginning of the month I was being good until I saw that Doming book pop up. And this was all I was going to buy this month. So I haven't got any quite small books really, and I haven't got any Selena Fenwick books. So I thought this looks quite cute for a quick little colour. Her Fairy Dorables, that I can't say. Again, loads of people have flipped it. I'll give you a very quick look, blink and you miss it kind of look. But yeah, so I fancied that. Pocket side, cute fantasy colouring book, Fairy Dorables 2 by Selena Fenwick. Cute, kind of A5-ish, feels a bit taller than A5, but somewhere around that size. Then I have no books by Cocowayo. I don't generally buy books by the kind of publishing houses, so the Jade Summer, Cocowayo. There's quite a few now, isn't there? I think it really annoys me that they don't credit their artists in the books. So you can have some really popular books, but you have no idea who drew that work. You have no idea what they're getting paid for that work. How difficult is it for this company just to put inside in their information who drew this book? It's really not, is it? If you can do a title page, you can add who the illustrator is. So in the main, on principle, I don't buy these books generally, but I kept seeing this book in particular on quite a few people's channels, and it did keep winking at me. And so yeah, I broke my principle, which is a bit annoying if I'm honest. Let me move them because I'm a bit high up with them underneath. This book I think is beautiful. So Beauties in Fairyland, it's got portraits in it that are just totally my cup of tea. I just think there's some really beautiful drawing. I would be interested in knowing who this artist is because they deserve some credit for this book. I'm not a total lover of the fairy pages that are on here. They're okay, but the portraits in particular I really like, and they're totally just my taste. I have done one in here already, but I've paper clipped it, so hopefully you won't be getting a sneak peek of my end of it. I think that's the only one that I find quite funny. Can you actually imagine having butterfly wings right near your eyelashes every day? That wouldn't be annoying at all. You move your butterfly wings and tickle your eyelashes. I'm not thinking that's going to work, but I quite like it as an image to draw, to colour and work on. But there's some, like I say, there's some really lovely images here that are totally, there's the one I've done. What I did notice was a lot of this black comes off when you're pressing on to the page you're working in. So if you get one of these, make sure you put some paper in between, because this pointless black print on the back of the pages, why do they put the paint on this toner on the back? I don't understand. Is it to make us pretend that this is good paper? Because it's not convincing me. Beautiful images, terrible paper, pointless toner. I don't understand. If I could have bought this book on PDF, I most definitely would have bought this book on PDF, because this paper is terrible rubbish. It's not kidding anybody. It's toilet paper. Beautiful images, printed on toilet paper. You're not allowed to know who the artist is. I don't know. As I said, I shan't buy many more. But because I bought that one, and this one I kept seeing as well, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about this one, but go on, because they're cheap, I will. And I think their eyes are too big, but there's some that I quite like, and some that I think you've got horrifically, like that one has horrifically monster eye. Just one monster eye. I don't know. So yeah, like that one also has monster eyes. I don't know. Don't do the face shape realistic if you're going to put monster eyes on. I don't know. But I do like a good chunk of them. I think a good chunk of them I will do. But some of them I really don't like too much at all. So it's a bit of a mix in this one. I definitely prefer the other one. I think the other one, the drawing in it is just beautiful. Definitely. And some of this is lovely. But some of this I don't like. But yeah, another cocoa wire book on toilet paper with some nice drawings in it. And then these two also popped in my basket because I'm naughty. This one, I think, was mainly Tiny Creatures. Helps if I tell you what it is, doesn't it? Tiny Creatures by Coco Wyo and unknown artist. Obviously printed on same toilet paper. But some of the images just made me smile. And that's a winner for me, if a book makes me smile. I think there was a little Nintendo games thing in particular that I quite liked when I was looking at on other people's. Yeah, this one kind of reminded me of Animal Crossing a bit, because it's got a little farm thing in and little characters and tent and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that kind of swerved me into putting it in my basket and breaking my rules. But yeah, Tiny Creatures by Coco Wyo. Again, some cute images on rubbish paper. And then this one, I think Pixies Projects has this one, but has Colin Kay got it as well? I'm not sure. I think a few people have got this one by Karen Sue. Is it Chen? I'm not sure. Secret Worlds, a delightful glimpse into the magic life of magical creatures. And this is very similar to the last one that I just have, but again, they're like little homes in strange places with objects in odd places. That again, fairground in a mushroom, very nice. But again, some just little fun, little silly. Again, these are the only two that I've got that I would describe into this kind of category. Homes in odd places category, I think is what I'm calling it. I don't really have anything like this, so I thought two of them, that should probably do me. A squirrel driving, is it an ice cream van or a bus? I'm not sure. But it has a tent on top. But yeah, it's all a bit of silliness, but sometimes in life you need a bit of silliness. And then I got these three. These were super cheap. I think they were £3 or something like that from Amazon UK. I'm sure they're available elsewhere. I think these are actually an American artist, Ellen Jarecki and Nicole Percy. Again, these are quite thin. They're little books. They're slightly smaller than the Coco Wyo ones that I've just been doing. But I thought these would be a good little quick colour. And again, they're really quite cute little mice doing naughty things. I think the only thing I'd say is one or two of them, like this one. This is quite a small... Yeah, can you see how small the little marks are and the butterflies? Quite tiny. That I think you can only just colour over something like that. You can't really colour into it properly. So some of them I think are really nice. Some of them I think needed to have been printed much bigger really to make it a manageable colour, if you kind of understand me. But yeah, I've got two of the little mice books. I've got 1 and 3. I don't know why I jumped for 3 and not 1, but again, it's very much more of the same kind of little books. They're old books, I'm sure lots of people have seen them. And then I've got the Happy Hoppers as well, because this also looked very cute. So I fancied a little bit of cuteness that's gone with those. So those 3 Happy Hoppers and a very nice colouring book. And then you might have seen this pop up the other day on my channel when it arrived printed. So the Dragons book by R.J. Hampson, and I got the Pirates book by R.J. Hampson as well. I won't flip the Dragons because, well, we saw it the other day if you watched it. And then the Pirates one, I really quite like this Pirates one as well. And it's a little bit different from anything else that I have, really. I have no other pirate book. And this actually has a double spread in, which I've not noticed him do before in any of his books. But yeah, you've got this huge double spread of pirates having some kind of pirate fight, I think, which is lovely. And again, a mix of some of his buildings and then lots of his quite comedy characters, which I really quite like his characters. Albatross. And this one has a little, not a full story, but just a little bit of a statement that go with them. So all albatross and pirates should be friends. They both traverse the waters hand in hand. Their friendship is well noted, so it seems to last the age. So why are pirates dreaming of a cage? Maybe because albatrosses will poop on you, I don't know. Bluebeard. Some of them are names, some of them just have a great big thing to read, which I'm not gonna read. Pirate Love. Got another little house. Looks like the end of the world. They're falling off. But yeah, it's quite comedy. I quite like it. I've not coloured any boats in, so I kind of feel like, yeah, it's just something a little bit different. And I quite like his pirates are very hipster pirates. They're a bit too cool for school, all of these pirates. They're not looking like the pirates you imagine pirates to be. And then I think we're back at the beginning where we're up to. So, but yeah, pirates and obviously dragons that you saw a bit of from my flip the other day. So I've got 2 of the R.J. Hampson Dragon Dreams and Pirates. And there's also another book that Pretty Pages 71 is responsible for. I think she showed this ages and ages ago. And mine obviously is not printed in lovely Japan. It's printed in the UK. I have this game, Animal Crossing. Can't say it, but I have it. Played it a lot when we were in lockdown. Haven't played it for a while, but yeah, I did quite fancy this little Morgan O'Brien book, Welcome to the Village, that obviously has pretty much a book full of all the characters from Animal Crossing. I can't say it today. Animal Crossing, if I can get my teeth around it. Again, it's been seen loads, and loads of his books have been seen loads, haven't they, this year? They're very popular books. It's the only one I have because I quite fancied it. Probably going to make me want to play the game again, really. And then I have one book from Book Depository that I've been umming and ahhing about this book for a while, and obviously there's 2 more that I haven't persuaded myself to get. I thought I'm just going to get one and see whether I work in it, which for me is quite well behaved, really, as you know. I am a bit of a book hoarder. I love books, always have loved lots of books. Some of these images are pretty scary. But yeah, so I've just got the music one, Girls with Music. And some of the images in here are really beautiful. Some of them are terrifying, but some of them are beautiful. And the paper's pretty good, quite thick. I think I probably could use wet media on this quite easily. But it just looked like a beautiful book, and it's portraits with flowers and leaves, which obviously I enjoy quite a lot. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to having a go at some of these as well, because it's a beautiful book. Oops, sorry, dropped it. But again, it's not a new book, it's an old book, it's been seen a lot, I've no doubt. You've got the usual coloured versions at the front, which are really beautiful. Look at that one, lovely. And these, I love this one in particular. This is what made me get this one over the other one, really, that image. But yeah, lovely book from Book Depository. Did take a while to get here, as per usual, Book Depository. But what can you do? And then, yeah, last one in my set. Now, I didn't have this one, obviously, but I have the other 4 that are in her sets, and to be honest, I'd given up hope of getting this Magical Delights book because it's out of print now, as you've probably noticed. And yeah, I was quite lucky and just happened to spot somebody selling a pristine copy, bookmark and all, on a Facebook group. So yeah, thank you to that person if they're watching this. But yeah, uncoloured, completely, pretty much brand new, Magical Delights by Clara Markova. Yeah, it was quite interesting to see this as her first book. Obviously I've got the others and I've worked in the other 2 that I've had for quite a while now, quite a bit, and the style has changed and developed so much. So these are, in comparison particularly to the last book, these are quite simple images compared to her last 2 books. Some of those pages, there's just, I mean, there are some, that's a busier page, isn't it? But in the main, I would say overall this is a much simpler book. There's a lot more background space in these pages than in most of the other books that I have. So it was quite an interesting book to look through really when it arrived. But delighted to have got a clean copy and been able to get hold of it at all, really. I think I would have taken a pre-coloured one, anything, just to finish it off. Yeah, I really enjoy her books. They make me smile. There's something about them. I've had a bad day. Nip into a bit of Clara Markova's world and the day feels a little bit better because everything's smiley and lovely. But yeah, so finished my collection of lovely Clara Markova's books. And then the last little thing that I bought this month, it's not worth me doing a separate haul for. Obviously you probably know I love my watercolours. I've not bought any Renaissance colours over a year really, because I've obviously been making my own, but my own are not as nice as hers. So this little set did tempt me. Oh, the sun's a bit too bright there for these, isn't it? So it's the Crown Jewels set that has, as you can probably just about see here, ruby, sceptre, orb, emerald, sapphire, imperial, queen consort, and the Cullen diamond. Really, because I didn't have anything like it. I think the purple and the pink in particular, I really think are beautiful out of this set, and I couldn't make very good silvers myself. Couldn't seem to find any mica that did a really nice job. So this set, just mainly because of the pink and the purple really, but I think the blue is really beautiful as well. So yeah, I plumped for getting some of the lovely Renaissance colours, and as you can see she's put me a little sample of a kind of coppery section that you can see I've been using already. And I did get a couple of the, oh hello, something suicided off. I did get a couple of the Advent ones as well, so all this row are out of the Advent sets. So I just picked ones that I wanted. So that was my other Renaissance set that are quarter pans, but I've got half pans this time. So but yeah, really nice little selection of colours, and obviously adds to my crazy palette of paint quite well. You'll see there's a couple of strange ones in here. These were my watercolours from the last Sketch and Story subscription that I had. So this is kind of a glittery blue, and then a kind of pinky peachy silver glittery thing. But as you can see, they're in little wooden slices with the magnet on the back the same. They kind of make a bit of a mess of my palette, don't they? But they still fit in and it still works. I'm not a total lover of the wood. I understand the reason for it. Obviously it makes sense, but obviously the wood really sucks out the moisture, so when you've wet the paint it dries out a lot quicker. So maybe I'm thinking they need to seal the wood a little bit better, maybe, if we're going to go down that route long term. But yes, so there's my last little bits and pieces this month that I've added to my set. I really like them in these little tins, but it's handier to have them all in my mega tin. They probably will join the mega tin eventually, but for now I'm keeping it as a little precious thing separately in my tin, so I know where it is, and obviously that all folds away. So that is all of my crazy buying for May. I was better in April. I did not buy very much in April at all. I was a good girl and paid bills. May I've been a bit naughty and bought too many things. Although I did also get, it just reminds me, my scrawler box this month. I've only done 2 scrawler boxes and this is the second one. And I got this 6 fine art pencils, so I was kind of, oh, Dermot pencils, I wonder what these are. You already know what this is before I pull it out. Yes, chroma flows, just what I didn't need in my scrawler box. And not even particularly nice coloured chroma flows. So they're probably going to school or in my Spurs drawer if I've decided. I quite like the mustard, and obviously white and black are useful. Greens we'll always use, won't we? So they probably are useful colours really, but I've had 2 boxes and neither of them have been particularly inspiring. Chroma flows I didn't need. Anyway, I do apologise for my crazy book collection. I hope something's interested you and you've enjoyed looking through it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.